Welcome to Roseflower Radio, the show that goes behind the scenes of your favorite independent artists and creatives. I'm your co-host, Micah Wilson, and Finlay and I made a mistake. I didn't mean to do that much emphasis on Finlay. It was a very equal mistake. As you can tell, this is not our normal setup. This is me in my room at 3:05 a.m. We forgot to record an intro. We normally record the intros at the end of the podcast so that we can make a good intro, put it in post, and have it be us talking about like, hey, welcome back to this is what we talked about here, this, and this. So that way you kind of have an idea of what you're going to be listening to before we get going. And we just totally forgot. But it was for absolutely good reason, because the guest that we had on this week, we were just so enthralled by the conversation, we just didn't even think about it. His name is Dante. He is the founder of Above the Bridge, which is a music publication, blog. It's evolved so much over the years, and he talks about that, like the different phases of where this has gone. But honestly, this conversation was so fun. We ended up talking for way longer than we normally do, just because Dante is just such a down-to-earth, amazing human being. And it was so fun just to get to talk to him. He also got a sick stash, you know what I'm saying? So there's many reasons to like him. So we hope you enjoy this week's episode. And sorry for the crazy intro, but we hope you understand. So without further ado, enjoy this episode with Dante.
Nice.
Yeah, we've been going.
Nice.
Welcome to the podcast.
Hell yeah, thank you, man.
How are
Appreciate
you?
it. I'm good, dude. Is my mic placement good here?
You can move it around
sit
if needed.
back,
A little bit. All right, cool. This is like
there you go.
this is like the podcast hosting me. I'm like, is everything good?
I know.
You're good. You're good.
Well,
good though, man.
let's talk about that to start with then. Like, you're a podcast host as well.
Yeah.
So like, off the jump, like, rate our setup, rate our vibe, you know what I mean?
I love
and you
it.
can be rude.
No, I know. I love it. It's very similar, like in terms of like logistics. I think very similar to ours. But I was saying when I walked in, I love the being in a corner makes everything way more practical.
Yeah.
That's something I never ever considered.
Yeah,
but
it cuts
I
down
do
the
like
amount
your
of
setup.
lighting we need a lot.
Yeah.
we just have one big boy.
No.
Micah tried.
Aw.
That thing, it has like, it's very temperamental.
turn
It
that
has
one
like
on,
a
too.
Yeah.
has like a 25% success rate, whether or not it turns on. And then this one, I think the batteries and the controller are dead.
Did you get that custom made?
No, shout out Etsy for real. Just so happened to have
Oh.
it that looked similar enough to the logo.
Yeah, it does look similar. I can tell the difference.
I just gotta start telling people it was custom made.
Yeah,
They
you
believe me.
should. My mom, I came home. This is like the second or third time I came home from when I moved to LA and went back to the Bay Area to see my parents. And I went back one time, and it was my birthday, and she like found this girl on Etsy that makes like custom, like similar things to that, but it was like almost like a rock kind of thing, but that like lit up. That like had the
shit.
Above the Bridge logo in it, but she had it made for me on Etsy, and I thought that was like the sweetest thing ever.
Okay.
That's so cool.
That's
Yeah.
really cool,
I feel
yeah.
like Etsy gifts are a good thing to give people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You
Huh.
gotta hit up that Etsy buyer Etsy seller you bought that gumball machine from, because it's been a year and a half. It hasn't arrived yet. That's kind of crazy.
I don't know
Oh,
why
they
you gotta,
scammed you, dude.
I don't know why you got to bring up that right now, bro.
They scammed you.
One of the first times I met Finlay, I'm in his room, and I don't know what happened. He had a gumball machine in the corner. I tried
Yeah.
to play with it and just shattered the entire thing.
Oh.
Gumballs went everywhere.
I can
That's
tell
a
you
terrible thing to break.
I can tell you for a fact, because I had filled it up that morning.
Yeah.
And I know how many are in a bag. It takes a whole bag. Tell you for a fact there were 1,000 gumballs in that machine, because that's how many are in a bag, and I put a full bag in that morning.
Where do you get a full size gumball machine? Like I've seen like the mini ones, you know.
Oh no,
but
it was like that big.
that's kind of cool. I feel like gumball machines are like a lost art. Like I feel like you never see them anymore.
It was in my studio. It was
Yeah.
a beautiful little
They're sick.
accent point in my studio.
Yeah.
This motherfucker comes in, he breaks it.
Yeah.
For 2 years now. He's gone, hey man,
Is he gonna get you another- are you gonna get another one?
Gumball machine is on
yeah.
the way. Gumball machine is on the way, bro.
OTW, bro. It's coming soon.
Yeah, they scammed you, bro.
Want to know what's even crazier?
Huh.
We have the same birthday.
What's your birthday?
September 25th.
2001.
Oh, my
2001.
birthday's November 25th, 2001.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're older
That's
than you.
crazy.
You guys are a month older than me.
How's it feel, bro?
Yeah, that's
or
embarrassing,
2 months.
bro.
God, I'm so good at math. Yeah, dude,
How's it feel?
2 months. I don't know. I feel inferior now.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Well,
Jinx. Damn, we are twins, bro.
Damn.
We're so
and
good.
you guys are twinning today.
I know.
outfit-wise.
This is kind of embarrassing.
It's kind
I
of
don't
cute.
know.
No, it's cute. It's cute.
I feel. Let's kiss after, but we can talk about
Yeah,
that.
we don't need to do that on camera. Okay.
That's an off-camera activity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Talk to us about Above the Bridge. Where did it start?
So let me sip my water real quick.
Glug 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 glug.
Glug glug. Above the Bridge started in a movie theater in Concord, California. I used to be a buster when I was 16. I started working like normal jobs like 3 or 4 days after I turned 16. And I'm from the Bay Area, a place called Concord, which is like, well, I grew up in like going back and forth from like Clayton and Concord, which are like neighboring towns.
Yeah.
And like 25 minutes out of San Francisco. And I worked in a movie theater when I was 16 years old, and I had no real passion outside of music. It was like the only thing that ever made me like feel incredible amounts of any emotion. I just feel like music in my entire life has taken the lack of emotion that I've had and amplifies it. So it's an amazing thing for me. But yeah, it was like my only real passion at the time. And
Were you ever like an artist yourself?
yeah, I play in a band. I play drums. I play guitar, songwrite. So that was like how I got into it. It was like playing in bands as a kid. And just always jamming with my friends. But what
was the name of the band?
So I'm still in the band that I've been in like for years and years and years. We play a lot. It's more of like a for fun thing for me, but it also is like, you know, a passion project for sure. We're called Clover.
Clover.
Shout out to Clover.
Could be at right there,
yeah.
Micah.
Clover
There you
boys.
Hell yes. Trying to play some more LA shows for sure.
Let's go.
Be fun, yeah. But I love playing music with those guys. But I played with them since I was like 14 years old.
That's
like,
so sick.
Yeah, I love those guys.
What type of music is it?
It's kind of like alt rock, and like it kind of ranges. Like we have some more emo stuff, have some more like ska type stuff.
That's sick.
It's
I
very
love
much
ska, bro.
Yeah, me too. Dude, I grew up on like Sublime and 411, and but yeah. So like I worked at this movie theater. All I really cared about was music. And I had a friend at the time. Well, okay, no, actually before that, I would always be listening to music while I was working. And there was always one movie theater that wasn't playing a movie. It was like a vacant theater they had every single day, and they would use to like run maintenance or tests or whatever. But I would always work from like 4 to like 12, or I'd work from like 6 to 2 in the morning. So it was very, very late. But still, you know, by like 10 o'clock, there wasn't very many people in the movies. Like most of the movies are getting like 6 or 7 people in it on like a Monday or whatever. So I'd always go in the empty theaters when I wasn't cleaning the theaters, and I would just write about like whatever album I was listening to at the time. And I did that for like a year, just like for myself, because it was like as like a fun thing.
Was it like a journal being like, today I listened to Tyler the Creator?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
and then just like, was it like is it you like
Were you writing
critiquing,
reviews?
yeah, or like,
Yeah, they're pretty much reviews. It was like reviews to begin with. I did that for a while, and then it like turned into articles and like think pieces and just like whatever I was feeling about a record, or you know, whatever random rapper from North Virginia I found like on Reddit that day or
and
whatever.
you're physically writing them in a journal.
No, it was on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on my phone.
But you're not sharing this or anything.
No one knew about it.
Yeah.
It was just for me.
That's cool.
And I did that for like 6 months. And then a friend of mine who I went to high school with, named Farah, she started an Instagram account where she was essentially doing the same thing but putting it on Instagram. And I was like, that's sick. I have all these like articles and reviews and think pieces that I've been writing for the past like 6 months.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do something with them. So I asked her, I was like, yo, can I copy you? And she was like, yeah. So I...
yo, can I jack your shit?
100%.
Yo, can I jack your shit?
Yeah. That's awesome. So I just made an Instagram account called @AboveTheBridge_, and I started doing that. And I did that for like a year, and it started to grow like a very modest but dedicated following and fan base. And I think that was when I realized the power of like curating community and culture, and how that can often be like way more valuable than the vanity numbers that we so often look at. I realized that very early, and then I did that for like 6 months. I got more and more into it. Like my heart became like a bigger and bigger part of it, and then eventually I turned that into a blog, and the following kind of translated from the Instagram account to the blog, and it grew, and it had a really good following for a blog. And then this in like 2019. And you know, blogs aren't really like a viable business venture.
That's what I was literally about to ask,
but it was very fun, and I never at that time had any intention of turning this into anything bigger than that. But I just fell more and more in love with it as I continued to write, and music journalism became my passion like very, very quickly. And then I got to a place where like this blog had like even a 600 reader to 1,000 reader like range for a blog, and that's like really good for a blog.
Awesome. Yeah.
But then I got to the point where I was like, this is becoming a bigger and bigger part of my life, and I think I want to turn this into my career because I'm just so in love with it. And a blog is not a very viable business venture. So,
Totally. Two things on that is like one, with blogs, I feel like you were just kind of speaking to it, but like blogs being like, I don't think I know anyone in my own life who's like, yo, I run a blog.
It barely exists anymore.
And like,
that's a very 2008 to 2015
like my mom wanted to run a
thing.
blog at one point.
Yeah.
I'm not discrediting you at all, but like my mom wanted to run a
it's
like, listen, dude.
it's incredibly fun, right? And like if you have like the way my head works, I think a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like having like a place to like expel those thoughts is really cool. And then it was cool when other people cared about them, you know. Like I was definitely attracted to that kind of interjection of like me thinking and having things that are stuck in my head that I didn't even quite understand, and then being able to put them on paper, give them context, and other people understand them.
Yeah.
That was a very attractive like transaction for me.
Yeah.
So then where did the actual name Above the Bridge? Was that just like something that just
I was sitting in my brother's bedroom. So I have two brothers. They share a bedroom, and I was sitting on the bottom bunk of my brother's bunk bed with a friend of mine named Isaiah Rajeski. Shout out to him. It's funny too. It's so full circle. Like I'm really close friends with his brother Cyrus now, who lives down here and is also a musician and is like in the scene.
Sick.
Plays for my roommate. Yeah,
That's cool.
Crazy producer. But anyway, so I've known my friend Isaiah since I was like a little kid. But we were sitting on like in my brother's room, talking about music, and my favorite band like probably of all time is the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and we were talking about like names for like this blog that I wanted to start, and we were like listening to Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and he was like, like if you named it Above the Bridge, it would make a lot of sense because we're from the Bay Area and it's like a play on the Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
I
and
never thought it. I literally that just now clicks.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. So it was like was no deeper than that.
That's awesome.
Might as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm
have
very
you ever done
against-
heroin? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, not anymore, but
Yeah, but that's
We have some in the
that's
bag.
after hours, man. That's the after hours podcast.
That's the Patreon
Chill.
exclusive.
That's
bro.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying, dude.
Our toes will be out too. It'll be crazy.
So, was there maybe like one moment or one article or one think piece that you released and then you were like, oh, this is it. Like, this is where I'm going. Like, maybe one that got more readers on the blog or more anything. Or maybe it was the first one that maybe someone reached out, the artist themselves saw it, something.
We did
Was there like one that you were like, oh, shit, this is happening?
Totally, yeah. There were a few. Like, we did a review of the I Don't Know How debut album, and they reached out, and that was really cool because, their whole history. We did a Kamasi Washington one time, and he read it and responded, and that was fucking crazy. We did what were some other like really, really cool ones? Do you know the band Tennis?
I do know Tennis.
I've heard of them,
We did one on them, and they reached out.
What's the song that I know? It's something about like love. I don't want your love or something.
All
I
their
need
songs
your
are-
love.
yeah,
Yeah. Where it has the tempo switch up. Crazy.
Yeah, wild. But they reached. So like it was a lot of the bands like that, like very like internet core type musicians for sure,
cool.
like online, very online. But yeah, so that was like cool. And when that started happening, I think that was when it kind of clicked in my head where I was like, this might be bigger than what I thought it was. This
Yeah,
can
like
be more.
there's something here. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, there's something here. Like I'm I have a knack for this. So I think that was when I kind of started to develop the idea of turning this into a music media company.
Okay.
And it being deeper than just a blog and being a real business that was viable. And it's difficult because you always want to like tote the line between what you love and what's going to make you money and what you can viably do for like the long term. But I very quickly found things that I love that I think made more sense from like a business level.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was like that was when I was like, this can be more. And then it became a media company. I sat down with my friend Lance Redeker, who I grew up with, and we did an interview, and I was like, okay, this can be a YouTube channel. We did a live session. I was like, we can do this, and just started expanding from there. And then
What's it been like trying to almost pivoting your mindset from like this is a creative thing, this is a outlet for me to do, to now, like you're saying, it's a company now. There's other people around now. You know, has there been a mindset change for like when you're posting things, when you're doing things in the planning stage? Now that the outcome that you're trying to get is maybe a little bit different than it was, or maybe a little bit more targeted than it was before.
Totally. And I think like the biggest change in mindset was when I realized that you can do both.
Yeah.
And they're not mutually exclusive. You know, like I was so contestant to doing anything, and this sounds silly, but I was so contestant to doing anything that like would work very quickly right off the bat. And that's something that I hated myself for like a very, very long time because I was seeing no numbers and no success, but I loved what I was doing. I thought it was really good. But I'm so grateful now that I did that. Now that like, you know, we're getting some more numbers and success and things are growing at a better rate now, I think I'm incredibly thankful that I didn't chase the early like gratification of doing things to get numbers right off the bat and instead trying to curate a community and a culture that really meant something. And I think that's like what we're in the business of now.
And I also think that that's very rare nowadays too.
For sure.
Not discrediting anyone else's art or art form, and maybe that's just how a lot of different mediums are changing and shifting or whatever. But I think that there's a big aspect of people having the expectation, I'm gonna blow up after this one thing, or then I'm gonna do this, you know.
I'm gonna post my third single and then
boom.
There's the album I'm signed, you know, or whatever it is, you know. I think that it's a breath of fresh air. Also, as a multimedia company, to see someone else doing
Thank
something,
you, man.
Where it's more geared towards the, you know, like putting in the effort first and reaping what you sow after harvest. You know
Thank
what I mean?
you, bro. Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like more, like, literally today I was thinking about this as I was driving here. I'm happier, more satisfied, more fulfilled, and prouder of the things that I'm making right now than I ever have been in my entire life. And I'm very.
So dope.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
That's
thank
not
you.
something a lot of
There you
people can
go.
say, bro.
Thank
It's
you.
so
Thank you.
sick.
I appreciate it. And it's just like I think now, because like, you can eat shit for as long as you want, but you don't know if it'll ever matter. And it's pretty scary. But you have to kind of jump into the abyss at a certain point. And I think when I did that, it gave me so much freedom to get to the point where it's like, no one's looking at what I'm doing. And that is the coolest thing ever.
you can do what you want.
I can do whatever I want. Yeah, I never had like nobody was watching forever. And now that some people are, I mean, it's still a modest amount, but it's like now that some people are, and I feel like more importantly, there's a community and a culture being curated around it.
Yeah.
I now am able to get to a point where like I can actively create the things that are in my head in a way that I think is well and like good and like well done, you know, and good and quality.
Yeah.
So where do you see that? Like, where do you see that going? Like, not that you have to give us the sneak peeks or anything, but like,
No, you
say
do.
you got a lot of stuff in your brain.
No, you have to give us all the sneak peeks.
Yeah,
You're not
we need all the
leaving here
secrets.
until we have every
The entire
release.
business
Yeah,
plan
we need the
locked
launch
up.
codes, bro.
Yeah, I'm like very, very excited for the future right now. As I was saying, I think I'm very excited about curating the culture in real life and online simultaneously. And I think I've now gotten to a place where they're propagating into each other, which is very, very exciting. But yeah, so we started doing shows like a year and a half ago. And that I think is like, I think Above the Bridge often like phases. Like I think like there was a phase 1, a phase 2, a phase 3, and we're now on like 3.5/4. And I think like it's interesting because like phase 1 was like 3.5 years long, and then like
crazy.
phase 2, or in my head, was like 6 months long, and then like phase 3 was like 6 months long, and now this new one feels like it's been like 2 months old at this point, which is really cool because it's like I think I had to like figure it out first. I didn't know what the fuck this was for years. I just knew I loved it. And I think that's important, but like I had no idea what it was. And I don't think you can know what it was until you fuck up so many times and you figure out like what you hate and what you don't.
Totally.
You know?
You got
I don't know why you
more
high
fuck
fi-
ups to go, baby.
Yeah, dude, you
Right.
just got to figure out like what you hate and what you love and what makes you feel good and what makes you feel fulfilled, you know? But it was like I feel like the phase we're in now is like the combination of like our events company and our media company and like beginning to propagate that world. Like I'm trying to build a world. That's what I want to do. And I think right now the direction we're moving with the live stuff is more exciting than anything we've ever done. And I have an incredible amount of ideas. Like this is something that I haven't like fully begun to do, but I'm fleshing out this world in the live setting in my head right now, and I've been writing every day about it and thinking obsessively about it. But for the past year and a half, all the shows we've thrown, they've had posters that have been comic book covers that are incredibly specific, and that's all been for a reason. We're trying to turn Above the Bridge into a comic book, and that's what I'm really passionate about right now.
Yo.
I want our I think the way that people think about throwing shows right now is very. I'm trying to. How do I say this without sounding pretentious and like a dick? I'm like,
No, do it. Sound like a dick.
The way that people think about it is often very like, I want to curate a lit night out with the homies where we're getting fucked up, and it's like that's fun. Like I like to party. Everybody likes to party, you know what I mean? That's fun, whatever. But it's like I'm not like degrading that. But when I think of live shows, I think of the thing that changed my life and like my view on the world, and it goes a lot deeper
like
than
the
like
moment of incredible music on
that's
stage
way more
where
than just being
everyone
drunk and
yeah, it's
listening.
way more than like going to Zebulon and getting a fucking vodka martini. You know what I mean? Like
vibing with the DJ for 4
and
hours.
don't get me wrong,
yeah.
that's fun for sure, and everybody loves that. But like to me, like I want our shows to feel like a moment in history, a moment in time, a moment in
Some
somebody's
Woodstock
life.
shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I want them to make like a ton of sense and be ultra curated and all have like incredibly specific themes and like thematics around them. I want them to feel like a moment, and that's what I'm trying to curate right now. And I think the best way to do that is through this comic book that we're building out that I'm very, very proud of. So the plan right now is to get to a point where like we're releasing a 3 to 5 page comic book that is geared to every single show, and the artists on the lineup are the characters. And the reason we're doing that is because I don't expect anybody to buy it, so we're not selling it. We're giving it away for free. And that is there's something really cool about making shitty business decisions. And I think I realized that and the power that holds very quickly. And the comic book isn't meant to be a viable business venture. The comic book is meant to give people something to understand what we're doing and why it's different and why it's
So you would
cool.
You would consider it like part of a marketing material?
It's a world.
almost?
In my
Okay.
head, it's a world. Like we're building a world out.
Is
And-
it a physical hard copy?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're gonna print these and give them out at every single show, and like I want the whole experience to be curated to not only be a concert but a comic book release event. That's what I want every show to be. And
Were you big in comics like growing up? Or
not
anything?
really. I read all the Walking Dead comics. I read a lot of like, all the ones that everybody else reads. Like I read a lot of superhero comics and like a lot of very, base level ones. I wasn't like super into comics,
Yeah.
but I'm very into world building. And I think creating a world that exists in like a physical and an online space is incredibly interesting to me.
Yeah.
And that's like what we're moving towards right now in the online space and the real world as well. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
most excited about,
Yeah.
like creating that world. And I mean, like I said, like what I want to sell is the comic book covers. But the comic book is meant to make the comic book covers cool.
Yeah,
And that's why we're
totally.
giving it away for free. And there is like a level of like a bad business decision that goes into that, but I think that is part of it. I think like creating a space where it's like this is for the art. This is for the world. This is for something that is like different than what everybody else is doing. That's worth losing money for a long period of time. And like I'm at the place where I'm doing okay enough to where I can do that, and that's a lot more exciting and that's like what I'm most excited for right now.
Yeah, I think
so
there's
sick.
like so much to be said for. I think especially in more recent times,
Yeah.
this idea of world building
Totally.
is basically what most entertainment is now. Like if we look at the fastest growing media companies, Dumb Days, what did he talk about in his interview?
Oh, like the
Sitting right
magazine,
there.
Oh, you guys did
world,
him?
Yeah.
world
Is that out?
building.
Yeah.
That's been
I gotta
out.
watch
That was
that.
like a year ago.
I
bro.
didn't know those out.
No,
Check it out.
Yeah,
that was-
I'll check that out.
But he
Dumb
was
Days
talking
is so
about
fire, man. Very
Yeah.
inspiring.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
he was
awesome.
talking
Yeah.
about world building and creating other things. He was creating, what did he say, a magazine?
You wanted a
Yeah,
digital
doing a-
magazine,
and then
whereas you
even
flip
when
through
you
it,
look
it's, like,
at-
different artists and
Alex
stuff.
thinks about the show on a different
It's so
level.
cool.
And
yeah.
even when you look at like big artists, Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, all of these people, they're creating their marketing is an entire world.
100%, yeah.
Taylor Swift, I think, is the best example with like
Yeah.
folklore and
Yeah. Evermore?
Don't kill me,
Yeah.
please. Creating these entire worlds where when you go to her shows, she decorates the stadiums with fucking branches and all
Yeah.
of that shit. I think world building is kind of like where entertainment has been heading for a long time.
Totally.
When it comes to like I refer to it as marketing, and then you
Yeah.
said no, it's world building.
Yeah.
And because it's not like, oh, we're gonna be doing this and this is our marketing material and this is this. It's like, no, this is everything.
This is it. Yeah.
But I don't disagree with you. Like it is simply marketing at this point. Like I think you have to do it. Like I don't think
Yeah.
you have a choice, and it's awesome that you have to do it 'cause it's so fun and like
Yeah.
expansive and like allows you to like take all the thoughts in your head and translate them into this this physical product that's like larger than life. But I think like it is simply like the byproduct of like the oversaturation of media that felt so stale in the TikTok era for so long that like I think like the logical descent from that, like the logical extreme opposite, is creating entire worlds that are fleshed out in both like physical spaces and online spaces. That is like the like in my head, like the logical opposite of like, I just showed my best friend my song.
Yeah.
He was so surprised. Or like,
I just made the song of the summer.
yeah, type shit. And not to hate on that, like, get your bag, like whatever. like, people got to eat. Like,
it worked.
Full respect.
Yeah,
100%. It worked forever. It doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
And when it
it's
does,
so crazy how fast the industry changes. Like
100%.
Yeah, I swear I still see people trying it.
Well,
and
the thing is, like, it only works when your song's already amazing. And then if your song's already amazing, you might as well do the make an expansive world around it. Create yourself into a character, because at that point,
that's like the easy way out.
It's longevity.
Totally.
If I have a song that's a 10, why would I waste that song on like a marketing strategy that's going to lead to like incredibly quick, like, like I might get playlisted, or like I might like get like a big dopamine shot, but I'm gonna go right the way back down. I'm gonna make no fans. Like you will make fans if you have a song that's a 10 and you release it with a world behind it, because then people can get into it. People can have a character to get into. They can relate to you. They can be interested in what you're providing, opposed to just like the song. All you're providing is the song. If it's
so true.
There's no world behind it.
Dude, it's crazy hearing you talk because, like, honestly, like,
this end sentence.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
it. That's
yeah,
it.
that's
It's,
it.
you're
That's
insane. But there's so much like that sort of passion for those sort of like larger than life ideas are, I think, something that 95% of all creatives, regardless of what that is, whether I'm an artist, a podcaster, multimedia, and like whatever it is. I feel like everyone wants to take that step of world building. Mm-hmm. So my question for you is, let's say I am just starting, I'm just starting Above the Bridge, and I'm you like a few years back. And it's like one of those things where, how do you even like say, hey, build a world? How do you tell someone, like, how does that look for you? Because like, to me, that sounds awesome, but then when it comes to like the work,
let me build a world real quick. Okay, bet. Like draw a circle.
Yeah.
Put some planet, what does world building mean to you?
Incredible patience. That's what it means to me. Because I don't think you build it until you figure it out, and you figure out what it is.
Yeah.
And you can't like sit down and focus hella hard and be like, I'm gonna figure out what the world I'm trying to build is. You know what I mean? It's just like
comes natural or something?
It's to me it feels like the logical expression of all the thoughts in your head that like collide into one thing. And it's like, if you can get to a place like I didn't like come up with like this world that I'm trying to build now with like the comic book stuff. Like I didn't come up with it in like a span of 2 weeks. It was like a result of 5 years of like figuring out what this is and what I want it to be.
Yeah, like making those mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. And even like if there weren't mistakes, it was just like even the wins, right? It's like figuring out like, okay, like this went well, but what did it lead to and what did it not lead to? So to answer your question, I think it's like incredible patience is like what it takes. And like not trying to build, it's like kind of ironic because it's like not trying to build the world when you first start is how you build the world. Because it's like you have to figure out what you're doing first and figure out what you're trying to create, like figure out what it is. Yeah. I didn't know what Above the Bridge was for like 4 years. I don't think I'll probably look back at this in 10 years from now and be like, I had no idea what Above the Bridge was
build the world,
at 21, but that is what a world is. It is like an ever expansive universe of like your ideas and your thoughts and the way that you look at the world.
It's very similar to, I think, the artist journey in it being like an album. You know what I mean? Like there are some albums that are concept albums. Yeah. And those albums are considered by everyone to be like, just from a like, if I were to tell you, like, think of your favorite albums, a lot of them are not just going to be like, hey, like really amazing song number 1, really amazing song number 2. Really, it's like, this is like story that gets like,
what's between them?
Yeah, exactly. Between the
bridge.
World, or between
between the bridge.
That's the next one.
Yeah. But I also want to talk about, speaking of like building worlds and stuff, I think it's something that you actually do in your marketing when it comes to you just marketing a podcast or something like that too. Because and I think we talked about this over the phone, but it's like so interesting how, like, for us, if you're building a TikTok to like promote a new podcast that we have coming out, we just like, hey, get the best clips or whatever. What you do is you'll sit there and be like, let's explore the theme of what this person was talking about.
Yeah.
And it's something that you record separately on your own time, talk about that, and then you reveal, like the conversation that you had with this person, which is a great, like, attention getting. It makes me want to know what they're talking about. It very much works
Thank you.
as an advertising campaign or whatever. What I wanted to ask, though, was where did the idea for that sort of concept come from?
It came from, so I'm very inspired by, I work for a company called Live 2.
Mm-hmm.
They did like a similar thing. Actually, I mean, what they did was kind of different, but like just tons and tons of conversations with McLean has like got me to a place where like that idea came to my head. I'm very inspired by like Ends of the Magazine.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like full disclosure, like a lot of like their videos are very similar to the ones that I'm making. They're incredible inspirations to me. But so I'm inspired by them. But the thought behind it came out of like a really deep examination of like what people care about and what people don't. And like a very like I had to like kind of like put my pride aside and realize like there's a million podcasts. Why the fuck does somebody have to care about mine? And it's you kind of got to put your pride aside and your ego. And one thing I realized very quickly was like the second that somebody thinks that what you're showing them is an ad, they're gone. You lost them. You can't sell somebody on this shit. Because they can go find not anymore. Because they can go find somebody who's not selling them on this shit.
Yeah, and he's just as funny as you, just as good as you.
Yeah.
But isn't trying to sell them something.
Exactly. There's a million other podcasts. So what makes yours different? And for me, I think I found that like I had it's probably 5 months ago now. I had a very, very memorable evening in my studio where I just like, I don't know what it was about that day. I don't know why I felt this way in the moment, but I sat down for like probably 9.5 hours and I just like wrote out everything that I've been doing for the past 5 years, what was working, what wasn't, and the mental blockages in my head that I think were driven by ego that were disallowing me to succeed. And one of those, like a lot of those, like one of those is like I was afraid to be the face of a brand, which I think I've been working to get over. One of those was like me trying to force things down people's throat that they just don't give a fuck about. And then another one that I realized that kind of changed the way I was marketing the podcast was I realized I was posting ads. And I was like, why am I posting ads? Why the fuck does anybody care about I'm sorry, I feel like I keep swearing. Am I allowed to swear on this?
No, you're totally fucking good.
Okay, cool.
But just don't let it happen again.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you get 5. You use 4.
No
so you get one
fucking
more.
F-bombs.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. No more. No more. Cade,
That's
cut
out.
him off.
Get him
Okay?
out. Get him out of here.
End of recording if he gets one more.
Yeah, but I realized I was like, why am I giving people ads? Like, I hate ads. I was like, if I barely scroll. I was like, and I hate ads.
Yeah.
So it's like, if somebody who does scroll a lot, imagine how much they hate ads and how hypersensitive and hyper aware they are to like, oh, this is an ad.
Trying to sell me something. Yep.
Yeah, swiping up within a millisecond.
No, I've thought about this and how like on TikTok, he doesn't say ad in big letters anymore. It's very much at the bottom. There's still something about it where within
100%.
half a second, you can.
It's a mental blockage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just like ad. No, there's
sure.
something about the content.
Our brain's gotten used to it. Like
There's
it's
something
like,
about the content. Within a
so
second
crazy.
or so, your brain is able to just be like, ad. No,
Exactly.
keep going.
And that's what I realized. I was like, because like I went through a lot of different iterations of the podcast marketing. I mean, I've been interviewing artists for like 2 years now. I guess like 2, almost 3. But like at first I was like, it was 2020. Everybody was doing the clip thing. I was like, this is what everybody does. Let me just do this. So I decided to do that. It worked sometimes. It worked. I mean, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But I was interviewing mostly artists that they didn't have fan bases. Nobody's interested in. I think I was just charismatic and like a good storyteller, so people were interested in that aspect of it. But I'm very happy that I did that because like if I didn't go back and interview a ton of like Bay Area artists that didn't have a lot of fan base, I don't think I'd be good at what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy that I did that. And that's just another thing we were talking about. Like, you have to, like, do the small, like, you have to, I think it's way easier to start from the bottom of your funnel and work up than start at the top of your funnel and work down. And I think way too many people are trying to start at the top of their funnel and work down. Like, they're like, okay, I've been doing this for 6 months, let me go viral. Not like, how can I build this world that is like, when the most people are seeing it, it's really good.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, you want, I think about this quote all the time. I think luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah,
I
totally.
love that quote. Yeah.
So it's like when the two, I think of them as like what's the math thing?
X and Y axis.
Yeah, exactly. School.
We
student,
musicians
man.
out here.
Yeah.
We're not mathematicians.
Yeah, but it's like when X and Y meet.
Sinusoidal. That's all I got. Come on.
Sinusoidal.
That's a crazy word.
That is not math.
Sinusoidal.
A sine wave is so math. You want to get here? Come on, cosine
That shit's
tangent.
math as hell.
Dude, that's mathing right now,
That's
bro.
math as hell.
Math
That's like
is fucked.
how Finn from Adventure Time would always go, mathematical.
Yeah.
It's a good ass, like,
Such a good bar.
Mathematical.
Mathematical.
But yeah, so my way of thinking was like, when X and Y meet, I want to like have the best product.
Well, so X and Y actually can't meet because they're two.
Shut the fuck up.
What it would be? No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, you fucking
Hey
nerd.
man, I'm a community college dropout.
Yeah, okay.
I literally couldn't make it through community college stats.
I remember that from high school. I'm not talking. I'm
I
not,
damn near was a
Okay,
high school
big flex,
dropout. It was with
like-
COVID. I don't know if I would have finished. Yeah.
that is so true.
But yeah, it was like it was pretty much just like, I guess that was the bigger results of it. It was like I felt like I was trying to, because yeah, like the longer history is like, yeah. So I started with the clip thing. It was mostly artists people didn't care about, but when there was a very interesting topic, some would do well, some wouldn't. And then I got to a place where like I developed like a new mindset, and that was like, what am I trying to do at the core of what I'm doing? It's storytelling. So why don't I write out these gigantic stories, so that they're like massively typed, like damn near like think of like what I'm doing now, but like the script wasn't a video; it was like a big article almost.
Interesting.
So that was,
yeah.
I mean, there's like some people who do that. It doesn't work, but there's some people who do it, and it's interesting and it's artistic and it's fun, but it's not a very like eye grabbing thing or a very marketable thing. I did that for a long time because I like the storytelling aspect of it. And then I got to a place where I was like, what if I did this, but I just made it a video? And I turned it into like, because that I felt like was the logical combination of the two. It had the clipping, it had like the gripping and interesting nature of the clips mixed with the storytelling of the long articles. So I think it took like a engaging format with an artistic content.
Totally. And I feel like that's where like a lot of blogs are now having to go in that direction.
Totally.
Because like you can't get someone to read an article that much anymore.
Yeah.
Like you have to
Adapt or die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's especially when you have to adapt to like this ever growing crazy
Yeah.
media industry, like you have to adapt rapidly
But I'm
every other day.
For sure. And I'm interested to see how like the popular blogs pivot, like Fash. Like,
Yeah,
I'm very
totally.
interested to see like Fash pivots. I'm interested to see how like Pigeons and Planes pivot. I mean, they've already done it a
Especially
lot.
now, and I don't want to be that podcast, and I feel like we've been this podcast a couple of times, so I want to refrain from saying this too much.
Yeah.
Especially with if you have an AI that can write a blog in the style of
Yeah.
this blog writer or whatever, like, I don't even know, dude. Like, it's just, that's a whole scary world. I feel like I think everyone would know that it's AI.
Bro, within a year, we're not even going to be needing to record podcasts anymore. We're just going to have AI.
AI generated podcasts.
Yeah, we'll text you over some questions.
Yeah.
You send the answers, and then
It's
you
just
just
a
like
robot
put it
going,
in the
I
AI.
love it.
I almost feel like that's probably already a thing. Like it
I mean,
probably
have you
can fill in the
seen
blanks.
have you seen what's Queeble Cop?
No, it's
That fucking he's like an OG YouTuber. He has like 15 million subscribers, and basically his channel is dead to the point where he decided it wasn't worth his time to make videos anymore. So he created an AI using like the 10 years of YouTube videos that he has, created an AI that is his webcam. Like
Yo,
it's like a moving thing
what?
of his webcam. And then obviously 10 years of videos, they took all of his like screaming,
It's an
like
incredible
yelling
amount of
shit.
data they could pull from. Yeah.
And it is fully now what happens. He has his his assistant create a script for the video and then record the gameplay. And then they like the webcam and everything that was him like playing the game, all AI generated. It's all fake. And like if you didn't know,
You wouldn't.
You might not know. It's kids' content, so like as an adult, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, like this is kind of weird.
I'm gonna
but
want my kid
if you were
watching
10
that.
years old, like if you were 10 years old watching this video, no shot that you're noticing that this isn't real. Like no
What?
chance.
What
A
I'm
kid,
interested in, like, do they do the same numbers?
well, same numbers as his videos before,
Yeah.
kind of. Like
Uh-huh.
Loki, his channel blew up because like people in Loki went and like started hating on it. Like his
Whoa.
views went up when he
Yeah.
started doing this because now people are like,
But not
looking
because of the
for
content,
it.
because of the controversy.
Yeah, wait,
Yeah, I
let
would
me
assume
find.
so.
They used the 10 years of him sitting in front of a green
kinda wanna
screen
see
it.
to
See,
create AI of him sitting in front of the green screen.
It looks like a little janky. Like, it looks
Yeah,
like
like
a
as
little
an
motion
adult,
track.
you
yeah.
can be like, that's a little not real. But if you were 10 years old, you're not noticing that.
Kid could not tell. No way.
Yeah, like his target audience is like 8 to 12.
Yeah.
Like they're not noticing that.
that. Yeah, no way. There's no way.
And
they'd
this
notice
is
it.
this is 15 million subscribers. This is a massive account.
That makes me like uncomfortable.
This is
Like,
a
that's like,
massive
it's like eerie. That's like
account.
so eerie.
And well, when he made the first few videos on it, and everyone like hated the channel.
It's just eerie. You know what I mean?
no,
Like, it's
it's
eerie. Yeah,
awful.
it's like weird. It's
and
dystopian.
then he created an apology video.
Why?
Being like,
It's not like wrong. Like, it's
being
just
like, this is, oh, I'm sorry you guys don't like the new content. We made a new AI, and to prove to you how good the new AI is, this isn't a
video's-
real apology
Oh
video. This
my
apology
God.
video is with the new AI. And I'm not gonna lie,
that's the most meta thing I've
it
ever heard.
broke my fucking no, because I had been watching the video unironically, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, he's talking, and then he said that, and I was like, oh
Yo.
no, oh no,
Yeah, that's
like he said that, and I was
Screwed.
like, oh, we're fucked. This is it. Like it's
Golly.
insane.
So he made the AI himself.
he has like he hired a whole team. Like dude, this is a 15 million subscriber channel. He's got
Bro,
money. Like he
that's-
hired a whole team. Like there's a whole like group of them working on just this AI.
That's genuinely terrifying. That's
And
like,
so like
oh my
imagine
God.
that content, but then give it another 5 years,
Uh-huh.
and like what they can be doing with that. Like I'm not joking when I say that like you won't need to record podcasts anymore and shit.
That's
like if you don't want to.
You guys are both musicians, right?
I
Yeah.
am.
He more so than me, but yeah, we both went to music college.
What do you think about AI music?
I personally, I think certain things will be replaced in the same way that certain things in other industries will be replaced.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think music and to a lesser extent videography, but still videography to a point, needs a human touch.
Yeah.
You know, because we've like having 8-bar generated MIDI sequences
Yeah.
is not new. Like having AI
Yeah.
generate an 8-bar intro, an 8-bar verse, an 8-bar pre-chorus, an 8-bar chorus.
Yeah, that's been around
post-chorus,
for a
You know,
while.
that's not new. But there's a reason that all songs in the Hot 100 aren't just that.
Yeah.
You know? So I think music to a point is safer from AI than a lot of other industries are.
See, I
I'm
disagree.
I'm just a big believer that right now the sentiment is that AI is going to take people's jobs. I'm not a believer in that. I am a believer in the fact that humans using AI will take the jobs of humans not using AI.
Interesting.
You know,
Wow.
that's what I believe.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
I totally do. Yeah.
Yeah, like AI isn't going to come and fire all the editors.
Yeah.
But a really smart editor who is using AI to make their edits faster and better
will fire all
will
those.
fire all those
That's an
editors.
interesting way to look at it. I've never
You
thought
know?
about it like that. Do you think
Like,
there's
yeah.
a world where like okay, so you think it has to have a human touch, but do you think there's a world where it's like the majority of the Hot 100, like the chord progressions are generated by like AI, or like maybe like AI is like pitching you melodies, or
I see. In my opinion, I
think music's a really hard one for AI
I
to
don't
get
think that
into.
it can do that. What I think what will happen most likely is, I don't know if you're familiar with Ghostwriter on TikTok and all that. What he's pitching is his whole thing is like, look, I will be a ghostwriter for you, Drake. You don't even have to do anything. I'll give you the royalties for this song. I just need a cut as a ghostwriter. Like his whole concept that he's saying is like, I'm trying to change how features are in artists, specifically for like the AI voice model, like having someone else sound like someone else. When it comes to like actual there will for sure be AI generated music that will be out and will probably be mainstream because it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, we're still gonna click on the video to see if we like it or not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? People are
Yeah.
still gonna.
There's gonna be that vroom, vroom.
I think so,
of
too.
People are
AI.
still gonna be watching, engaging, and reacting or listening. Like it's going to still.
Yeah, like I said, that guy's views went up when he started
Yeah.
doing this AI thing. Because at the
It's-
very least, a bunch of people like me went, okay,
Or
I gotta
skeptics
see
or
this.
I
whatever.
would too.
shit.
Yeah, 100%.
But is there longevity in that? I think it's too early to tell.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised, and I think that a lot of people are under this weight of, I don't want anything to do with that. That's not authentic. That's not real. But at the same time, they said the same thing about like a synthesizer. You know what I mean?
Really? You think so?
I mean, Usher told T-Pain that he
A sampling
ruined,
too, I guess. Yeah.
Usher told T-Pain that he ruined the music industry by using autotune as heavy as he did.
That's so crazy.
You know, like
to think
every,
about.
and now it's a thing. You know,
But
yeah.
it's hard to like conceptualize in your brain because to us like AI music is so incomprehensible. But like you're saying, I bet when sampling first came around, especially like sampling digitally opposed to like analog, people were like, "This is ruining music.
Yeah.
How is this music?"
Well, are you familiar with like Vocaloid?
Yeah.
Like there are genres after genres of music that
You see
have,
Porter Robinson's?
dude, Porter Robinson, yeah, top 10, one of my faves.
Crazy, dude.
But like his stuff, there's a bunch of other like they have like literally like just a hologram on stage that's dancing, and it's like,
Interesting.
and people are
I did
freaking out over
I did
that.
a song at the college that we went to.
Uh-huh.
I had a co-write, and neither of us were singers. We were both producers. But luckily, this guy was like, "Yeah." So he was like, "Yeah, my favorite. I make like anime music."
Yeah.
The way he said it, and he would make all the chords, and then he had an AI that he could type the lyrics.
That's Vocaloid,
into.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't Vocaloid. That's the thing. It was a shitty third-party knockoff that was that was only it was only in
crazy.
Chinese. So it was all the characters, and he just went, "No, I figured out. So what you got to do is you got to
Yeah.
click here and then do this, then do this."
That's like my
but yeah,
workarounds
so
in
he
Premiere.
just type in his lyrics
That's so
and
funny.
like MIDI what notes it should be singing at certain lyrics,
So it generates the melody.
and then it
entirely.
would generate everything
Like lyrics and melody, so it would sing the lyrics in the whenever
in the
you want
melody
the
that you
melody
told
notes
it
be.
to do. Yeah,
What
It's crazy.
the fuck?
But
and that's not new. That's 4 or 5
Been a
years
thing.
old at this
I
point.
think what
yeah.
scares me is like not romanticizing music. It's the one thing in my life I want to romanticize forever, you know?
Totally.
But I think that's part of it. Is that
Bless you.
AI? Yeah, bless.
Bless you.
Okay, that's
Caesar.
your last one. Okay, you're taking the piss now.
No more
My
blessings.
bad.
Yeah, I think part of it is that maybe AI will make the greatest music of all time. That doesn't matter if everybody's like us. We're like, I want to listen to the AI music.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
here's
even
the
if it's
thing,
the
I'm
greatest
actually
music ever.
interested.
Like,
I'm actually very
maybe
interested.
the first time, but maybe after 3 years of AI music, surely I think everyone will be like,
I
hey,
wanna
bro, I'm ready
romanticize
for
it.
some.
I think that there will be, in my opinion, I hope. I don't know. Also, I want to say this. We're recording this. This might.
We're gonna do a
Someone
check
will
back
come back
5
like
years
10
from
years from
now.
now and be like, "What the hell are they talking about?"
I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
we come
same.
back, all of us are AIs ourselves now, like 5 years from now.
The real.
This was
humans.
AI the whole time.
You just got it.
This video was to prove how good AI really is.
And now here's a song. Sing it on.
Yeah, that was an AI song.
But what I was gonna say, yeah, there you go. Tonight will be the night. No,
That's the AI
that's
song.
Fuck the robot.
no way
came
a
out for
human made
second.
that, bro. All I was gonna say was just that I would like to have an open mind, and hopefully, maybe it'll come. I would think that eventually, if AI music does take control and be that thing, that there's somehow a weird way where humans distort it to still make it artistically beautiful.
Yeah.
That's if it goes to that point. I'm hoping that that's what
How long
happens.
until we have AI like protests or people like protesting for the rights of AI? I feel like it's not long.
56 years.
I feel like it's not long.
I almost
bro.
think it's inevitable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's gonna come a point where,
Yeah.
you're talking about credit and shit. There's gonna be people being like, the AI needs to give that 20% to ChatGPT, baby.
Yeah, ChatGPT
You know?
needs points on that.
Yeah, that's
record.
what I'm saying. Like, how long before we get people like?
That's an incredibly.
Because I
interesting
think
thing about.
it's like, I think it's a real thing. People will
Well,
eventually.
I am
what does
from
that
the
even,
future.
like-
I can't give you the actual.
It's so difficult to
date.
like understand that because like what does that even mean?
What, like an AI? That's the whole thing.
What does like AI getting points on a record look like? Like,
Well,
it's
so-
not like it can't spend money.
Right now, it is that.
Can it?
But what's crazy is like me saying that now is probably like a
Okay, yes.
I don't know, like is
So
that
does
like
the-
a
You
can't
big
stream
does the
music.
person
is that like
who-
a bigoted take in like 2090? Like
No, you just got canceled
yeah,
30
you know,
years
like,
from now.
Like if I get canceled in 2090 for saying that AI can't have points on my record, like
yeah, like, yo,
but maybe it's like
banning
something
AI from your studio, like,
Yeah.
would be.
It's
whew.
crazy.
but maybe it's something we just genuinely can't like understand or comprehend right now. It's almost impossible to think about because it's just like in the future so much. Like you don't even know what any like the externalities are.
I
in
think
the
a
future,
big
you know?
I just thought of
change
something
will
crazy,
be. I think
sorry.
the big change will be when they put the AI and they put it in those humanoid
Well, that's what I was saying, bro.
things.
They go
Is
to
'cause-
war, bro.
Well, I think because right now it's very invisible. You know, AI is a thing
Totally.
you pull up on your computer. I think we're gonna get a lot more of these real world situations when AI becomes the robot that's in Target that like
Dude.
stands in the corner and tells
Yeah.
you, like, when there's a physical
See, but that,
embodiment
Yes.
of the AI,
100%.
that's when we're gonna start having these weird conversations about whether or not, like, does the AI robot fake person have rights?
Have you seen the DoorDash things?
No, oh, the little
The little
robots.
robots?
That's
have
what
you
I
seen
mean.
people
Like,
kick them over?
Yeah,
It's so funny.
did you see the one got in the way of the football team parade? Yeah, they got in the way of the Georgia State parade the
That's
other day.
hella
They
funny.
went right through it.
Dude, that reminds me. I have a friend who goes to UCLA, and he's telling me there's this guy on campus that just walks around UCLA and burns all the Lime scooters. Like he just like sets all the Lime scooters on fire.
Why?
He's just a
That's
dick.
funny.
I don't know.
That's why.
He's just like a dick. I don't know. He's afraid of AI.
It's a scooter.
Yeah.
Listen, you don't know what that scooter is
Yeah,
plotting,
bro.
okay?
Yeah.
Right now it's a scooter. Tomorrow it's taking your job. Today it's a scooter. It used to be an Uber driver.
Yeah,
So,
Micah,
how
I
long you
forgot
been a
to-
scooter?
I forgot to tell you, we're not renewing your contract. We're bringing in a Lime scooter to be
Yeah.
the co-host.
It's terrifying. My thing is like I think I had a conversation about this the other day. I think that like there is a certain level of human relatability that can only be achieved by a human. And I think like even if AI can entirely replicate what it sounds like to be a human being, simply consciously knowing that it's not a human being is gonna like allow me to not relate to it in the same way. Because I can't relate
Totally.
to like I'll never be a robot. I can't relate to a robot in the same way that I can relate to a human being. So it's just like
Can't relate to those robot moments.
yeah,
you know?
it's just like I'm not a robot. You know what
Like
I
they
mean?
have a little glitch. You're like,
Yeah.
don't know, man. Can't help you.
100%. Like there's
That's
certain
crazy.
experiences I'll never know. You know what I mean? Like so it's like I think because of that, even if we can get to a point where like the quality can be entirely attained by AI, just the simple fact that it's not a human
It's the
being.
uncanny valley. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's kind of what I was saying. Like, yeah, even if AI makes songs good enough to be hot #1
Yeah.
or like Billboard #1, I think there's gonna be at least at first a mental barrier
Yeah.
of people being like, well, I don't want to listen to this song that's gonna go, even if it's like best song ever.
bigot.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
None
Yeah.
of him.
Cancelled.
I want to go back to you a little bit
Uh-huh.
because the AI conversation is
We
crazy.
got
It can go down.
spiral.
Do you remember how I
Yeah.
started that? I was like, I don't want to be that podcast that goes into the AI conversation, and then we went into
You
the AI.
gotta,
It's
but
like
one
an
of the
hour,
TikToks
yeah.
is gotta be like, at this
Yeah.
moment, or like,
Well, I think I would also say
Bro, we should start a podcast.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's an interesting topic. So like,
It's interesting,
I
yeah,
don't
it's
want to
interesting.
fully.
There's
bash
a lot
it,
of
but
unknown,
everyone
you
is
know?
talking about
There's
it.
a lot
you
of
know what I mean?
unknown, which I think is why it's fun to talk about because
Yeah.
there's so much like
Also,
what
I'm
if.
sorry if you want to change gears, totally can. Where did you guys get that vent to put through the door?
Oh, you
where
mean the AC?
from?
It came with the AC.
I'm gonna be honest. I just shoved that shit out the door, like you just close the
Just
door.
push
on
it?
Yo, that's
Yeah.
a question for Loganda.
Yeah.
I can have him send you a link or
I mean,
something.
please, because I've been looking for like a good solution.
Are
to
you
cool
struggling with the
studio.
heat in your
Where's
garage
your
too?
studio base?
So like kind of similar to this. Like we have a garage that's like a separate unit, but it has its like own private street and stuff. So
So better than us, is that what you're saying?
yeah, to be honest, yeah, it's very similar to this.
How many broken neon signs do you have in your studio?
None actually.
How many broken hearts?
We have 3 that work. Broken hearts. Mine at least twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah. Depending on how many times like my Premiere crashes, or like I like when I broke my last lens, or like you know I melt a camera battery. Those are when the broken hearts come in.
You've melted a camera battery before?
Twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Was
One
it
time-
smoking?
Yes.
Mike and I always had
And I
a
kept
had a
recording.
fire at a music video shoot. And
fire?
then one of these lights right here, it had the battery on the back and it fell backwards and sheared the battery. And then I
battery
picked
started
it up.
smoking.
It was hot as fuck. Started smoking. I throw it like it's a grenade into the other room. And then Micah, this is the funniest moment. And we were filming BTS. We have this all on video.
Yo.
Micah, we were at like a rented location. Micah picks up a fire extinguisher, runs after it, points the fire extinguisher, squeezes it, nothing comes out, looks down at the fire extinguisher. On it, there's a tag. This is a prop fire extinguisher. Do not use in case of emergency. And Micah, so I'm like on camera. Micah goes,
That's literally that's literally like a scene out of a TV show.
it was so
That's
good.
crazy.
It's
It was
so,
so
funny.
funny.
It's on our TikTok somewhere. I posted
That's
it.
hilarious.
Like
I
this
gotta
was
see
what,
it.
probably 2 years ago. It was a long time
Back
ago.
when Micah was shaved head, bro.
Back when Micah was short hair, shaved
I
head.
love looking back at like those moments that
I know,
like
dude.
were accidentally recorded. That's the best shit ever.
No,
Totally.
it was insanity. And then watching
Yeah.
back the way Micah,
Oh,
Dude,
shit.
it's so scary.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So I was like, this thing's gonna blow up. And
no,
I just
yeah,
had,
we were like, and then like when it didn't work, we all like huddled on the other side of the room. We were like,
It's gonna blow. Yeah, that's crazy.
ended up being fine, but it was just one of those moments, you know.
yeah, we had to
Yeah,
go
I
to
feel
a
it.
Home Depot at like 10 p.m. to dispose of the battery in a safe way. 'cause
Yeah.
Dude, I bet
would have been
I just throw mine in
illegal.
the ocean, save my car batteries.
I find a baby seagull that's flying through the air. Like,
That was like we when we first moved here. This is full disclosure, so stupid. Me and my roommates found this pool table. It was like on our street, and we're like, "Yo, it's a free pool table. This is sick." So we're like, logically, we got like 12 dudes out there and started carrying it
Exact
down the
same
street.
situation happened to me, but carry on.
and so we carried it, but then it wouldn't fit in the door.
Yeah.
But then it was like, so we were
Exact
trying to
same.
get it in, but like everybody had left. So like there was only like the 4 of us now, and this shit was heavy, and we couldn't
Yeah.
get rid of it. So it sat on our lawn for literally 4.5 months.
Kept it on the lawn.
Yeah, so because we couldn't move it. It was so heavy. So then one day I got pissed and I was like, I'm done with this shit. So me and my other roommate, we went and bought sledgehammers and we just smashed the shit out of it. But then we had an issue of like a bunch of pool table debris in our front yard, which was like arguably worse than like the pool
Who
table.
could have seen
So
that
we were
coming?
like, so we were like, how do we get rid of this? So we literally just took like 6 trips in both of our Honda Civics, and we just or my Toyota Corolla and his like little ass car too, and we just drove to like behind Ralph's and we just loaded up all of their dumpsters and did this for like a week, and we just like slowly and we had to be,
slowly
like,
little pieces
yeah,
of
and we had to be hella careful because we were
Like
like,
the
dude,
craziest
yeah.
lore to like the Ralph's guys like throwing out the chest.
Ralph's
Like,
manager
why
is
is there
like,
more of a
"Where
pool
the
table?
fuck is this coming from?"
That's
Yeah,
so
we would
funny.
go like later that we're like, oh fuck, we're gonna go like fill the Ralph's dumpster
Secretly.
again. And we're like, fuck, they can't see us.
That's so
Gotta get rid of
funny.
the contraband.
Yeah, no, literally, because we were like, dude, we can't just keep this at our law. This looks so bad.
So
Like,
you never played on the pool table? or
we
anything?
couldn't get it in the house, dude.
You ever played it on the lawn?
No, we should. I don't know why we didn't. Honestly,
Outdoor
You just
pool
like
table.
just destroy it.
That's actually a fantastic point. I don't know why we didn't never do that.
Oh, I can't get it inside.
I had
Yeah.
I had a
Better-
fair share of
better
experiences
fuck
like
it
that.
up.
I thought of like another idea like a couple months after we broke it. I thought we could have like walked all the way around our street into the private street, all the way back down, and then somehow got it in the garage. Like, I thought of that, but I think that just would have been like.
Okay, listen.
Just
Now
destroy it
I'm
instead.
thinking about this.
Yeah.
How the fuck did you get your pool table
Did
inside?
you had a similar pool table situation?
So long ago there was a pool table.
It's a very common problem. It happens to the best of us.
so
the old pool
The
table
old pool table on the
conundrum.
lawn situation, man.
a classic.
I fucking hate when this
Everyone's
happens,
been there.
dude. Yeah.
It's the third time this week.
Fuck, dude. It's like when you find spaghetti in your pocket. Same shit,
Come
bro.
on, man.
Yeah,
That
it's
happened to me last night.
Classic sitch, you know.
So
Textbook.
the house that I lived at was kind of notorious for like low key a party house. Like we just like it was just a bunch of dudes. We just always ended up partying. It wasn't like a frat house or anything, but we just like we were always goobers. So there were many instances where you have like 8 drunk dudes, and we all find out that there's a
Free
couch on the-
fill in the blank.
whatever
Yes.
on the street, and we're like, we need it.
Yes.
So they're just over time, like our house just had a bunch of free things.
Yeah,
So
same
there
with
was
ours.
Tires.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so here's
half
the thing.
half of couches.
Dude, half of my
like-
studio is built from Facebook Marketplace shit.
Dude, it's great.
Yeah.
But so the thing was, there was this one moment where there were two girls who there was like a tire on the side of the road, and they just thought it was funny, so they just took it in. So we all just had a tire like in the corner. That was just one of the things. We had the pool table. Pool table was actually a friend of ours, but he was moving. So same sort of thing. There were like 12 of us or whatever. We actually had to unscrew like half of it. So we had to like rebuild it. And then we build it up in
worked,
the
though?
inside. Yeah, it was great.
Because we tried to do that, and the legs wouldn't come off ours.
Our legs came off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, see, that was where we went wrong.
You see, why didn't you use the sledgehammer? And when you said sledgehammers, I
Yeah.
thought you were gonna say, and then we broke it in half, took it inside, and super glued it back together.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't think that would work. Also, this pool table I think was from like the 80s or the 70s because it was made of stone. Like it wasn't fully wood. Like it was wood, and that's why it was hard to get rid of. I probably should have talked about that. So like, why it was so hard to get rid of was because it was wood, but it was inside was stone. Like
I'm
the
thinking of
actual
like an
platform.
Easter Island pool table.
That's like damn near what it was. Like
growing up.
and I entirely see why these people put it in their front lawn and just never did anything with it.
Maybe
It was-
they were in the same situation you were in,
Probably.
where they carried it to their house, couldn't
Yeah.
fit it in the door, left
So
it
it
in the
took
yard.
us like 2 hours to smash, because it was like, dude, it was like invincible. Like it was like literally made of stone. Like it was
That's so
incredible.
funny,
Yeah,
dude.
it must have been so old, but that's why it was hard to get rid of too. Because like, and then like my trunk was so dirty after. It was the whole thing.
How
but-
many people do you think it got passed between the yards of
That's a
people
great question.
trying to carry it inside?
I don't know, man. But we
before
broke the
you
chain.
ended the cycle.
We
yeah,
we were the end of the cycle. We
You-
solved it.
Hell
We
yeah.
solved
So
the
sick.
issue.
that pool table will not disappoint and trick
No.
any more groups of
Hell
drunk
no. You good at
men.
What do you say?
You good at pool?
I'm actually pretty good at pool. My dad's incredible. My
Really?
dad grew up like my mom always says, I fell in love with your father over a pool table.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, my dad's the craziest pool player I've ever seen. Yeah, it's he's very much like a New York Italian as shit guy, slick back hair, big belly. He's
He's a
like
mob?
Yeah, he's like the kind of guy who's gonna yeah, he's very mob.
Okay.
Like he is the kind of guy that like will run you for your money at a pool table. Like he will make a
Dang.
fool
He's
of
the
you.
kind of guy that David's dad was pretending he was for a really long time.
Yes.
We were in Reno one time when I was a kid, just me and my dad, and he went to go play pool at it was like a not a bar but like a pool hall type thing, and I
Yeah.
went with him, and I watched him literally like hustle these two guys. Like they were younger guys, but they were good. And my dad let them get to like 2 balls left, and then on one turn he made a fool of them, and that was when I began to fear my father.
And that was the last day. That
yeah. I was like, wow, you have power that I never could have comprehended. It was incredible. Yeah.
I better not piss you off. You might,
Yeah,
you might
that's
play me at
insane.
pool.
Yeah, he's nice.
Dude, when you see especially when you see your dad do something like that, you know, like
Yeah.
just like be an absolute, just manhandle some
Unit,
dudes.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro.
It's crazier when you see your parents in a state of weakness and begin to realize they're humans.
That's true too.
That's a very. Crazy
I remember the first time I saw
realization.
my dad cry.
I don't think I've ever seen my dad cry, but I think that would have been crazy. Yeah.
I don't know how he'd feel if I'm publicly like, yeah, my
Yeah.
dad cries.
My dad's a pussy.
My dad can beat up your dad.
Cries all the time.
Nah, my dad is a unit, man. He's a tough guy.
Are your parents together?
Hmm. Yeah, they are.
And how were they like when it came to, Above the Bridge and stuff? Like super supportive? Were they
Yeah,
not like
they're just
it?
very supportive parents in general. I think my parents are very blue collar. Like I grew up. They're both chefs,
Mm.
so I grew up in a pretty like blue collar house. They like very middle class, blue collar. Interestingly, I don't think like they always supported me to the fullest and believed in me, but I don't think they fully comprehended what Above the Bridge was for a long time. Because how could they? It's very
Yeah,
new, you know.
It's hard to get that as a
yeah,
parent.
it's a hard thing
yeah.
to explain to 2 chefs.
Yeah.
Listen.
yeah.
there's
So
this thing-
basically,
Yeah.
you know the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Okay.
Yeah. You know the
type
bridge.
shit. Yeah, my dad loves music. He was very into music as a kid. But yeah, I think it was the first time we were through a show was very emotional for me because it felt like the first time they understood it fully. I don't think they ever like fully comprehended what it was
Mm.
Yeah.
until like they went to our first show.
I was gonna say, was there a moment that
Yeah,
you'd say
that
there
was for sure the moment.
the
I
key
think for them.
turned?
Because you can see numbers online or whatever. You can have it explained to you a million times, but like until you see like when you see 200 people in a room and your son's responsible for it, it kind of becomes like undeniable at a certain point. And I think they just begin to get understand it at that point, you know.
Yeah.
So it was an amazing point. My parents are amazing. They're very supportive. My grandparents are incredibly supportive as well. Like
That's awesome.
they watch everything. Like my mom watched a ton of the stuff. Like they're I love my family very, very much.
Do you ever feel like, because I've kind of under this too, I feel like I have to like control, like order myself because it's like my mom's watching. You know what I mean?
I'm past that.
Well,
for
we have
sure.
like live streams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes they just kind of go crazy.
I'm definitely I think I'm past that. Like I feel like that way in the beginning. I kind of feel like that with my grandma sometimes, like, because she actually way more with my grandma than my mom. Me and my mom's relationship is very close. There's nothing in my life that I do that I'd feel uncomfortable telling my mom about, you know.
It's good. Mama's boy.
Yeah, what'd you say?
Mama's boy.
Yeah.
There you
No,
go.
I'm definitely mama's boy,
That
but
boy. Me too.
yeah.
I wanted to ask this real quick too.
Okay, yeah.
I want to know like this because this is I think this is a good way to like kind of like end us out.
Uh-huh.
But you recently just quit your job.
Yes.
And you're now working fully with Live 2. Is that correct?
Yeah, I live 2 and Above the Bridge.
Live
Yeah.
2, well, I know. Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
what I mean. So can you kind of walk us through what this past couple of like with this month, I know the new phase of what it has been.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about that and like, you know, like, where do you think you're going in the future? Like, what's in store?
Yeah, I'm more excited. Like I was saying, like I'm more excited, happy, and like fulfilled right now than I've ever been. Like I think all
awesome.
facets of my life, and it's incredible, man. Like it's like emotional, but it's like it's very, very like I think you contemplate what it's gonna be like quitting your job for like I did for 6 years. I always was like, there's gonna be one moment where I'm like, I did
throw
it.
down,
Fuck
yeah.
y'all.
Yeah.
I'm up.
Walk out with the birds
Yeah,
flying.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like you think that's gonna happen, and you know, you get afraid that like once you reach this point in your life that like complacency will take over and you will no longer be able to like feel the fulfillment and happiness at which you once chased. But I'm very happy that's not the case. I feel incredibly fulfilled and happy, and I think all this is like a product of me quitting my job and like being a full-time creative now. And like as you touched on it, Live 2 changed my life, man. Like big love to all of those people, 100%. That's like family to me.
How'd you meet them to start? Like?
I slid up on a Live 2 story where McClain was asking for an editor, and I slid up, applied as an editor. He liked my edit but thought it was boring, and then became aware of everything else I was doing, and realized that there was a bit more of like a place here to partner.
That's cool.
And it was kind of like a huge like pipeline like that. And there was one time he told me it was funny where he was like, "Dude, you're not an editor." I was like, "Oh well, yeah." Like not in a bad way, but he just was saying like, "There's more here." You know? So I'm the network director now. I manage all their YouTube stuff for the most part, and like help shape the overall vision and like.
They're not
craft of the
touching
network.
anything above the bridge though. Like
No.
That's still all you. That's still
100%. Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like a joint like project. You're working with them.
Yes, exactly.
But you're not.
There's no like ownership or anything. They want to help on a ton of Above the Bridge stuff in the future, which I'm very, very lucky for. And
it's awesome.
And then I think the last thing, and I think this can be a good way to also run into the outro, is normally we ask people to promote what they've got coming up, what they've got coming out. And of course you can do that, but I just want to specifically ask you about something that I saw that yourself and Live 2 just started to promote. Backyard Idol.
Yeah.
You want to so I'll do the intro, this will be part of, or do the outro, be part of the outro. You got this camera in the middle. You got this camera right in front of you. Tell the people, what is Backyard Idol? What can they do for it? And where can they find yourself, Above the Bridge, anything else?
Backyard Idol is a American Idol spinoff that we're running out of my garage.
Let's go.
Yeah, which will be available. The first episode will be available on the Live 2 channel and other properties in probably like 2 to 3 weeks, some point like that.
Sweet.
We got a lot of shows coming up. Working on a show, an Above the Bridge show for December that I'm incredibly excited about. Whoa.
What was that?
Is that an earthquake?
What the fuck was that?
That
Never
was
mind, keep
crazy.
going.
That was
Sorry.
divine intervention.
Yeah.
Do not speak about whatever you were going to say.
No.
Never mind, it's cryptic. But we have an Above the Bridge show in December that I'm very excited for in the Bay Area, and then we're November 3rd, we're going to probably be hosting a show at Make Out Music. We got a hip hop show coming with Overpaid, Iguayaka, and James Drop Top,
Nice.
which I'm very, very, very excited about. So November 3rd, get your tickets. A bunch of new interviews coming out. Our 100th episode of Music Matters should be out on Monday. I'm very excited about that. Yeah, all the usual stuff. You know, abovethebridgemusic.com, at abovethebridge_ on Instagram. Yeah. Thank you so much. I love what you guys do very much. Very, very
Of course,
mutual,
thank
bro.
excited
you,
to
yeah.
like see everything you guys do and as you continue to grow. And I really want to go back and like revisit some of the other episodes you guys were touching on. And
Yeah,
I'm very, very excited.
We have some dope ones. I think the Dumb Days one is really fun.
I haven't seen that one. I really, really want to watch that one.
It was funny that we also dropped the Buppy one in the exact same day.
Yeah,
like at
I
the
know.
exact
That's
same
crazy.
time too.
That was
I was like, dang, bro, we're
crazy,
like competing.
Yeah,
you
he
know?
really-
I
he
knew it
really-
wasn't like that. But
He really knew. He knew what you were like. I'm gonna put these. I'm gonna put them against each other. You know, see what happens.
blast.
Yeah, bro. He's making offs out here.
Yeah.
no, but it was it's wonderful to talk to you, to get to know you
Yeah.
more
Well,
than
man.
what we already did.
Well, you can find Roseflower Records at Roseflower Records on Instagram, at Roseflower Records on Threads, and at
Hit
Roseflower
that.
Records on TikTok,
Hit that.
at Roflo Records on Twitter. I'm not
that
calling
shit.
it X. I'm not doing it.
Hit it.
Yeah, you know that X Twitter has a character limit on their ads, so it had to be Roflo Records.
So, on the title?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like at Roflo Records.
How many is that? 10?
I don't fucking know.
It's 11?
12
That
maybe.
seems like a very short character.
Yeah, but they wouldn't let us do it. You can
Roflo
also
sound cool though.
Roflo is cool. I like
Roflo.
Roflo. Kind of hard
You-
to say though.
yeah,
Roflo
Records.
Yeah.
Roflo.
Say Roflo Records 10 times fast. Roflo Records.
You find a Roflo.
You can find and sold. And you can email myself, Micah, or Cade behind the camera at our names at roastrecords.com if you want to send us, I don't know, your favorite cookie recipe, your music, your questions about life, whatever it might be.
Questions about Dante.
Questions about Dante. You could email them to me. Like, that could work. You could also go to the links that he just said and ask him yourself.
If you would
Sure.
like to
Personally.
email me, you can email me at inquiries@abovethebridgemusic.com.
You got the
There you
inquiries.
go,
You
baby.
got the inquiries.
Micah, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Shoelace Music, spelled SHOOLACE, because I'm quirky and individual,
Know how to spell.
and I know how to spell. Finley, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Finlay did it, because who did it?
Finley did it.
I've got him trained
That
so
was
well.
hard.
It's great.
That was
You know,
hard.
first time I did that, we didn't prep it. I just said, because who did it? And they all went, Finlay did it. And I was like,
That was hard.
I got it.
That's your beat tag, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you, that's so
that's my
good.
Finlay
producer
did
tag. Hey, yo,
White girl. Oh my
Finlay on
God,
the
Finley.
Oh my God,
I
Finlay,
actually
you did
have
that?
one.
Finlay,
Someone
you did
cut that. That's totally your tag, bro. That's crazy.
Finlay, you did that?
Dude, actually use that. You will not. You will not use that.
I'm going to use that on the next Christina song, for real.
That's so funny. That's awesome.
Me and my roommates have a joke rap group, and my roommate Monet produces all of our joke rap group music. And at the beginning of every song, I go, Monet on the track.
Monier.
Monet.
Monet.
Monet on the track.
Yo, this should
I was
yo
going
make
off the
a Fiverr account, like,
Yeah, I mean
producer
this in the
tag
best.
recording.
I mean this in the best way possible. You sound like a very sexy woman.
Micah, you made
Okay,
this?
stop. I gotta go. Cut the camera.
Yo, Micah.
I gotta go, man.
Yeah,